Gamers, how's it going? Shani today here, and welcome to the 2021 edition of my cheats video. I've done a couple of these in the past, and I said in the 2020 video I'd probably see you again in 2021. This is that video. The first thing you need to understand about cheats is there's two different types of cheats on the Sims 4, particularly on console as well. There's the BB.Cheats, and then there are the testing cheats, or the cheats that need cheats to be enabled to be able to work. BB.Cheats, you don't have to enable cheats, which means you don't have to turn off your achievements and or trophies, depending on which platform you're playing. If you don't care too much about the achievements, either on Xbox to improve your gamer score or just to be that trophy hunter on PlayStation, then this doesn't apply to you and you can just turn on cheats for whatever save you want. But if you want to continue to get those achievements, please be aware that any cheats that you use where you have to enable your cheats, you will get a very big flashy warning the first time you do this on your save, and it'll say, hey, listen, you will never be able to get achievements back on the save, even if you disable cheats again later. So something to keep in mind, that the BB.Cheats don't require you to give up your achievements and or trophies, but the testing cheats do. So how do we type cheats in, I wonder? So if you play with a mouse and keyboard plugged into your console, the way that you can bring up the cheat console is the exact same on PC. That's going to be Control-Shift-C. However, if you're playing on controller, or you're playing with a controller and you're on Xbox, it's going to be the top two buttons and the bottom two triggers. So that is going to be your LB, LT, RB, RT. So the top two buttons, the bottom two triggers. Bring those all up together. That'll bring up your cheat console. Most importantly, make sure you're not typing the cheats into the search bar. I have a lot of people usually saying this, that, oh, the cheats aren't working. You've typed them into the search bar. Make sure you're typing them into the top. If you're on PlayStation, it's the exact same buttons, except they're called something different in comparison to your Xbox controller. So you're going to have L1, L2, R1, R2. The two bumpers and the two triggers on the top, you're gonna bring that up and you're gonna be able to put in your cheats. Very, very quickly, easy, fine, and dandy. Let's jump into the cheats themselves. So we're gonna start off with your BB.Cheats. Remember, these do not require you to turn on cheats and do not require you to lose access to your Xbox achievements or your PlayStation trophies. We're going to start off with an old faithful, that is BB.MoveObjects on or BB.MoveObjects off. This allows you to use objects and place objects outside of the normal parameters of the building requirements. So basically, if you want to place something really close to something else but the game is just not letting you, BB.MoveObjects on is going to save your life. I promise. The other two are very specifically focused on build mode themselves, and those are the BB.ShowHiddenObject and the BB.ShowLiveEdit object. Those will bring up your hidden objects that you might not necessarily always be able to have access to, and they also bring up the debug items. Now, a lot of people usually say, oh, but the debug search didn't work, oh, help. Usually what I do, particularly on console, I go into my search bar and I usually type in debug. It'll bring up all of the debug items. Sometimes you may need to reinsert the BB.ShowHiddenObjects or ShowLiveObject, depending on what you've been doing, and especially if it's been a while since you last turned that cheat on. Sometimes it goes away, sometimes it disables itself, and you're just gonna have to put that back in and everything will be fine and dandy. I promise, it's there. And if it's not working, restart your console, or if it's still not working, make sure you don't have any typos. The final one that I want to chat to you about in terms of build mode is BB.Ignore Gameplay Unlocks Entitlements, which allows you to gain access to all of the career unlocks, event unlocks, and anything else that might be locked due to either aspirations or careers or whatever the case is, or skills based. So you basically have access to all of those. A lot of people also on console will say that that cheat is way too long for you to input into your cheat bar when using a controller particularly. I find when I type with a keyboard on my console, I don't have a character limit. And also I found other people saying in the comments as well, if they've enabled cheats, which I know defeats the object of having BB.Cheats not having to have cheats enabled, but I have found that people who have enabled cheats are also allowed to type in longer cheats. So if you're having an issue with the gameplay unlocks entitlement being too long, either try a keyboard, or you can try enabling cheats first. Either one of those have worked for me. I have tested them both on Xbox and on PlayStation, and they all worked perfectly fine for me. So if you bring up that cheat console and you type in reset sim space first name space last name, and you make sure that the spelling is correct and all of the capital letters are where the capital letters need to be, exclamation marks, apostrophes, commas, whatever fancy symbols there are in the names as well, all of those need to be correct in order for you to be able to reset your sims. So those are the BB.Cheats. Let's move on from that. Let's chat about your testing cheats, and let's chat about the cheats that will eventually turn your achievements and trophies off. If you don't worry about the trophies, then that's perfectly fine. If you are worried about your trophies and your gamer score, have a separate save. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. I've got certain saves that do have the cheats enabled, and I have certain saves that are vanilla that will never have their cheats enabled. So to first of all, once again, bring up that cheat console. That is the top and bottom buttons on the top of your controller, or Control-Shift-C. You are either going to type in testing cheats space true, or, because a lot of you in the comments on my last video like to point this out to me, testing cheats space on will also work. True and on do the same thing. Imagine that. But if you want to turn those on, that is testing cheats space true or testing cheats space on, and that will enable your save. If this is the first time you're turning cheats on a console, on that save, it will bring up a warning. You do need to accept that warning, and then la-di-da bobs, your uncle, cheats are enabled. So something that I do need to disclaimer with your testing cheats, please ensure that when you're typing in testing cheats true or testing cheats on, that you are doing this when you are already loaded into a household. If you're doing this from manage more worlds, or if you're doing it from a main menu, it will tell you failed to execute command. You have to be loaded into a household in order for you to enable cheats. I don't know if this is the same on PC, but this is what happens on console. So make sure you are loaded into a household. What it means to be loaded into a household: click your family, load into them, be in live mode, and then type in your cheats. If you want to turn them off later or whatever the case may be, these won't allow achievements back in the game. But if you type in testing cheats space false or testing cheats space off, what do you know? It turns them off. So now that you have your cheats enabled, fantastic, congratulations, you're still with me. Okay, cool. We're gonna go through all the money cheats because that's what people want. Rosebud and Kaching, those are going to give you 1,000 simoleons apiece. Motherlode's going to give you 50,000 simoleons, which is obviously the one that we all know because everyone learned how to spell Motherlode thanks to Sims. We got you. But then there's two others. So there's money, and then the amount that you want, or money plus the amount of money that you want. And that can either increase your household funds depending on how much money you've put into said number amounts, or it will decrease the household funds. This particularly helps when you're doing a rags to riches challenge and you want to go back to zero, and you want to set the money to zero, and you don't necessarily have to spend it on anything, or you have to move Sims around and move them into different households to have them start off with actually really zero cash. The money one helps a lot. So those are your money cheats if you did get lost and if you do need to find your way around. Good thing this is a video and you can just skip back there and then try again. Something else you're going to want to know is how to reset your Sims. Now that you have the testing cheats enabled, you are able to shift click on objects, on Sims, on places, on things, any form of things, and you can bring up the entire additional debug and testing cheats menu. So if you want to know how to shift click on mouse and keyboard, it's shift click. I don't think it can get more self-explanatory than that. However, on Xbox, it is going to be your A and B buttons together on whatever object you're trying to shift click on. And if you're on PlayStation, that is going to be your cross and your circle, or your X and your circle buttons together. Okay, cool, you're with me? That's how you shift click. And through there, you're able to reset your sim, you're able to enable need decay, disable need decay, make happy, which is to fix all of the motives, and all of the things enable to have that shift click. But why I've taken you through all of this is to be able to reset your sim. If you're having an issue with shift clicking your sim for whatever reason and you're not able to go into that social menu to be able, or into the cheat menu to be able to just reset object or reset sim, there is a type out cheat for this as well. But as I said, shift clicking and resetting object is much quicker, much easier. Right, so the next cheat we're gonna cover has to do with create a sim, otherwise known as CAS. And this cheat is a little bit funky on console, and you are going to potentially need to restart your console if it isn't working, but CAS.full edit mode will allow you to use the full edit mode of CAS. Wouldn't you guess that? Oh my goodness. But I have personally found on my Xbox when it doesn't work the first time, sometimes I just restart. I either go to manage worlds and then it works perfectly fine when I load back in, or I need to restart my game, but then that's perfectly fine, it works. Otherwise, make sure that your cheats are enabled and make sure that there's no typos, and full edit mode on console will work. I have tried and tested this on all platforms of console to play on. It will work, I promise. Then in terms of skills cheats, I have done a full, extensive, covered as many cheats as I possibly could at the time of filming, cheats for the skills. So you can check that out in the description below or up in the cards right now. But the entire idea basically sums up to stats.set_skill_level space. And then whatever skill is that you're going to be putting in. So major underscore charisma, 10. Major underscore, I don't know, homestyle cooking, 10. The final cheat I want to chat to you about today is the free real estate cheat. Now, if you go into Manage World and you type in Control-Shift-C or the bumper buttons and the triggers on your controller and you type in free real estate space on, that'll enable free real estate, which means you can buy any house that you want without using any of your hard-earned simoleons. Score! And if you only want that luxury for certain Sims and not for other Sims, to turn that cheat off, it's free real estate space off, and then you don't have to worry about anyone not spending money, and you can make people spend money the old-fashioned way in The Sims. If some of these cheats don't work for you, and before you take to the comments, here are a couple steps that you can troubleshoot, okay? We're gonna troubleshoot together with you. Or I'm gonna troubleshoot together with you here, okay? Have you enabled cheats? First and foremost, have you typed in testing cheats true, testing cheats on? Have you done that? Yes or no? If you have, are you 100% sure that your cheat you're typing in has in fact got no typos or spelling mistakes or maybe spaces in the incorrect spots? Cool, no typos and you've enabled cheats, rad. You're either gonna restart your game, which means completely shutting it down, force quitting application and then opening it up again, or quitting to desktop and reloading it if you're watching from Origin, or if you're watching on PC and you're using it on Origin or Steam. Restart your game. If restarting your game still hasn't worked, turn your Xbox off and on, turn your PlayStation off and on, turn your PC off and on. If that still doesn't work, feel free to take it up with me in the comments, because then something definitely is wrong. Remember, with skill cheats, a whole bunch of them might not necessarily be available directly to you because you might not have the correct DLC installed, whether it be a stuff pack, game pack, or expansion pack. But that is going to be the end and the conclusion of my 2021 Sims cheats video for console, but PC also benefits from this as well because all the cheats are the same. If you're looking for things like seasonal cheats, if you're looking for pregnancy cheats, and if you're looking for skills cheats, anything else, they are all individual and separate videos on the channel. If you can't find them right now, they will be live in the near future because they're still planned and intended videos. But anything that you would like to see covered in terms of cheats on the channel, please let me know in the comments below. I know a lot of people are wanting pregnancy cheats, especially for twins and triplets. I know a lot of people looking for seasons cheats and a whole bunch of other things. Otherwise, I'll probably see you in 2022 for another cheats video. Haha, haha. But anyway, that is going to be the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave that like, subscribe if you are new around here. Remember that we're all human differently, and I'll see you guys again soon. Dag dag!